phone. I have no idea what I'm doing. Also should probably tweet that I'm live, but you know, whatever. I'm not gonna be live for that long, so basically what I have here is a fresh out of the wig bag. A fresh out of the bag wig that's already shedding because long wigs are like that. I should actually really tweet this out if I can find my phone. I kind of lost everything in this shuffle of setting up. I have no idea where it could be. Hey, Scrapstar. Crap, where is my phone? Well, my tea's over there, and so are my scissors. I'll be right back. Hey, Mark. Hey, thanks for the cheer. Hey, Duskino. Also, you guys won't believe where my phone was. It was literally at my feet. It was at my feet. So just give me a second. Look at my wonderful wig. How are you guys doing today? So I'm doing alright. I'm doing a lot better. I felt real sick after dinner. And I was really worried that I wasn't gonna be able to stream because I basically thought, oh cool, paid up Portland. Alright, so this is gonna be my ruby wig. I was gonna have a shorter one, but they didn't have the color I needed in the size that I needed. So originally I wanted to get this wig, which I'm pretty sure is where. Oh, thanks for the cheers. I don't. Oh, I should play music because I can hear it. So this was originally the wig I was going to get. Oh, this is a better camera for this. It is a Arta Wigs Magnum Long. This one's in dark brown. I was gonna get this in black because it'd be perfect for Ruby, and I would just have to add the red layers, but they didn't have it in black, and I couldn't really afford to wait. Although I look back now, and I totally could have afforded to wait. So I'm gonna be doing basically whatever is done with this wig, but to this one. So this was about actually the same price, but I'm gonna be adding in lots of different wefts. So I'm making a 3.0 cosplay. What do you mean 3.0? So these are all the 3 different colors of wefts that I have. Hey, Black File. So basically, I got all these wefts for Ruby because I've been using the same wig for Ruby for a couple of years. I got it on Amazon, and I really don't like it. I feel like it's very cheap. It doesn't layer well. It has a really obvious point in the middle. It's shiny. I hate it. So I figured since I've been cosplaying this character for a while, it's about time that I got a proper wig for her. That being said, I've never really done any wig work before, so this is going to be an adventure. So I have wefts in crimson, maroon, and apple red. So I can do a slow gradient because Ruby's hair in volume 4 and 5, I don't know if it's this way on the model, but it's this way on the concept art. And I go off the concept art, not the model. Hey, monochrome. So I'm going to be slowly adding in different colors, and I'll be rooting the wig. So basically, I'm going to go from having this black to adding red underneath, and then very slowly adding brighter and brighter red tones as the wig goes down. Oh, good morning then, Dream Strider. So just to start with, because this wig is way too long, I'm going to cut off the bottom. Yep, my mic cut out. I was just gonna put on some music, um, but I know that Twitch will mute it, which is why I'm a little bit hesitant to. Um, oh my god, I have so many Twitter notifications. Jesus Christ, come on, I just want to be able to use Twitter and see the chat. Come on, come on, Twitter. I know I have all these artists on. Come on. Oh my god, I can't even see the chat anymore. You've got to be kidding me. I just want to see what the chat is saying, Twitter. Come on. I got an off-topic question. Do you ever feel nauseous after a long flight? I don't. Oh yeah, I accidentally muted myself. Thanks for the host, Slipstream Technician. I should probably turn up my own audio. So I don't know if there's any good music that you guys have. Do remixes? I don't know if remixes get muted. I might just do like piano covers, I guess, because those usually aren't. Let me just pull some up real fast, just so I can have some music. Oh yeah, I'm not motion sickness. My voice is low. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be quiet because my sister's asleep. Let me see, I'm trying to think of, I love this piano guy. So I'll have his stuff playing in the background, because his stuff is a bop. Let's put on the medleys. Hey, thanks for hosting USMC Hello Pilot. Let me just add a source, and hopefully you guys will be able to hear the music as well. I try to write on planes. I just play video games on planes. Window capture, there we go. And this is the Breath of the Wild. So I'm just gonna hella minimize this. Can you guys hear it? I hope you guys can hear it. Oh, it's very quiet. Okay. Oh, I'm quiet or it's quiet? Because the tricky part is getting it at a volume where it won't hurt my ears, but y'all can hear it too. Because I have very sensitive ears. Oh, the music. Okay. So royalty music isn't hit. I'm quiet too. Okay. Hopefully this... Alright, Siege and War Thunder. Hopefully you guys can hear this now. So this is just a Breath of the Wild. Okay, screw it. Because I'm working on Ruby, I really want to... Hey, Zach! Nah, that is not what I wanted to do. So hopefully you guys can hear that now. Pokemon on planes. Oh god, that's so loud for me. That's so loud for me. Okay, thanks for the host. Alright, I can't do music. That's so weird that I'm that quiet. I didn't think I was being that quiet, so I guess I'd either have to be louder, but I can't have the volume up any louder because my sensory problems are being rude. So I'll just play some stuff from my phone. Hold on. I got a really good big message. Hi, I love my friends. My name's Erin. I love and support my friends a lot. I'm actually just going to put the Ruby soundtrack on my phone relatively quietly. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. I have a playlist. Why am I searching it? I'm out of it, if you guys can't tell. No, I passed it. There we go. So I know if you guys can hear this. Hopefully you guys will be able to hear it. I don't know if you will be able to. If not, I'm sorry. So, alright, getting to work on the wig. The main thing, you don't have permission, that's weird. Okay, so the main problem that I'm having with this wig, I don't have a back pocket, is that right now starting off it's way too long, because it definitely cannot be this long. What's up, Plug DJ? Wow, I'm out of it. Sorry guys, I don't think I'll have music in the background today. We can hear it a bit. Yeah, so I need to have it be. Hey, thanks for the sub, Joey. But so I need to have it be a lot shorter to start with. About. Oops, gotta be aware of that camera. So I'm gonna cut off like the bottom couple inches just to start, because this is not the wig that I wanted to get. This is just the only one that was available in this color at the time. So I'm gonna start off just by cutting off a lot of really pretty hair, unfortunately. That being said, I might actually save this to put back in as wefts later. But hey, Trumpeter! But into the trash can. Hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing. Hey, thanks for hosting, Shamrock. So Ruby Loki has a bit of a mullet. I don't know if you guys have been able to notice, but her hair is way longer in the back. It was a little bit beforehand, but now it especially is with the way that the new season is going. So again, I want to reiterate, I'm going off the concept art, not the show models, because I feel like the concept art, like they do have to change things. They have to change things for the show so that they are manageable for animation purposes, and I feel like you can sometimes lose a lot of the character in that. So like in cosplaying Volume 4 Weiss, I don't have the side ponytail, I have it on the back just because that's how the concept art has it. Because I feel like that's more true to her having to get back to assimilating into her father's control. So this is already much shorter. We can't see what you're doing. She gonna start mullet, she gonna start looking like Big Late? Yes. So I actually need to brush this out because these curls are gonna make my life hell. So I'm just gonna do like the basic stuff tonight. But for the most part, I need to get these curls out. Usually the best way to do that is with heat, but I can get a good enough start today, I think. Just slowly working on getting these out. And then the wig comes off the wig head, just like that. But so this is already a much more manageable length. It's closer to how the length I need it to be is, but this is not the style that I need. So I actually need to get up. It's around the length that I need, but it's curly, so it's actually longer. But I can't really do anything to change that at the moment. So let me just... Oh, God, I need a pin. Do I have a pin around here? I don't think I do. But so Ruby, I'm going to need to pull a picture soon to double check. But I'm always very hesitant to start with the fronts of wigs. But I need to get this parted appropriately. So let me get my phone so I can pull up the picture. So it's going to be a really disjointed stream because I have no idea what I'm doing. Because I've never really done any wig stuff like this before. But I want this cosplay to be good and I want it to look exactly how I want it to look, so I'm gonna... Yeah, so her hair goes a little bit towards her back and she parts it on her left side. So if I were Ruby, she has her bangs brushed off the right side of her face. So like that. Okay. So that gives me a good place to start, and I'm going to have to use a lot of heat for this later that I can't do right now, so at some point in the week expect a stream of me doing the heat treating for this wig so that this actually stays. But just for right now, I'm trying to get the basic setup of how her hair is structured. forgot I put the comb in my pocket, or the brush in my pocket. So thankfully with brushes, hopefully it'll brush out a lot of these curls. Hey, thanks for hosting. And Ruby has a pretty extreme part, which is both a blessing and a curse for cosplayers, because that means hair is always going to be in your face, but it means it can hide a lot of mistakes. So I'm getting close to where it should be. And then I'll need to heat treat this later. And when I say heat treat, I mean I just need to go at it with a blow dryer and a flattening iron, because Arta wigs, all of their fibers are styled by heat. So like you can do rough styling just with hairstyling and a brush and trimming, but most of the stuff that you will need to be doing, you have to do with heat. So like when I do my Todoroki wig, to get out a lot of the kinks in it, I need to use heat. See how much longer this hair gets here? Oopsies. If I hold that down, see how much longer this hair gets? That is way longer than I want it to be, so I have to cut all that off. Even with this part, that goes down longer than I want it to go. But just for the sake of being careful, I don't want to cut it off there yet. And I think I mentioned this on Twitter, but I'm going to be entering the cosplay competition at RTX, assuming it doesn't overlap with like the Ruby panel or something. Because I know in the past it overlapped with signings that I want to do, but at this point I don't really go to RTX for the signings as much as I go for the panels. So that's not going to be a thing. So here we go. It already has a very different feel from when we started, just because it's now styled going the other direction. Let me make sure it's still, there we go, yeah. So the bangs are obviously very long, so I'm just gonna do a little bit more trimming. Oops, that landed in my cat's water dish. And I'm actually going to be cutting off a lot more of this black than it would seem, because I'm going to be sewing red into it. But this is just like the basic starting of my Ruby wig, because I couldn't get the right style that I needed, so I have to prepare this one. Because her hair is a little bit longer in this volume, if you guys can tell. So I think I might do a lot of styling for the front, just because the front doesn't have quite as much red in it. Let's see what the chat's saying. Is this Yang? This is Ruby. Ruby Wolf confirmed. Yes. Oh, you didn't miss much. I'm just slowly starting to get to work. So if you look at the wig that I used before, and turn it inside out, you can very distinctly see where the black and the red starts, and that's something that I want to avoid with this wig. So I'm gonna have to take this wonderful wig, turn it inside out for starters. Because when wefting, you kind of have to turn it inside out, so that you can see all of the fibers. Hey, thanks for hosting! So this is the inside of a wig, if you couldn't tell. And I'm going to be kind of having to move over. Hey, thanks for subscribing, that blanket. I'm going to have to be kind of being tricky with this and moving some things around, because I need to get underneath these rows of black. But I'm going to start putting in the red way earlier than on that one. Especially with, see, the bangs are done differently. The bangs are done with, I think it's referred to as a skin cap, so it's going to be a little bit trickier to get those there, but if I'm lucky, I can kind of jerry-rig something for that. So I'm going to want to start with like the darkest color first, because if her hair is dyed, because I don't know if her hair is naturally like that or what, but no matter what, if it's dyed or natural, it would start pretty high up, especially since I have such long wefts, because this is the shortest wefts that Arta Wigs carries, and they're over a foot long. Wig sewing ASMR. I mean, I have designed a costume before, because that's what I'm bringing to RTX. That's my Pura design. But let's see. I'm gonna start with the maroon because the maroon is more of a desaturated red, and I'm gonna work up to the crimson and then to the apple red. And I want to reiterate, I have never sewn a wig before, so we'll see how this goes. So this is the fibers, fresh out of the bag. So this wig is gonna get real mullet real fast. But I haven't done much stuff with wefts before. I'm gonna have to get used to doing it because when I redo Weiss with the side ponytail, I'm gonna re-weft a ponytail wig. I have posted my PR design on my art Twitter actually. I would thought about doing costume design, but ultimately that would have to put me within the fashion major category, and I could not survive that world. Besides, as much as I love cosplay, animation is my passion. So, let me just undo the little ties holding it together. You guys can't see this. I should probably do this on screen. I'm not used to having the cameras be in like 2 different places. Oh. I'm trying to get all of my cosplays done before like halfway through June, so that I'm not like, or July, so I'm not stressing for RTX. Yeah, I have an art Twitter. It is unkillable_NPC, as a reference to how many times I have been almost killed. Oh god, I did not do that right. I did not do that right. This is like an accordion of hair. What did I do? I hecked up, ladies and gentlemen. Ah, shit. Oh crap, this is just bad. Well, anyway. So I'm gonna want to start introducing them, I think, all the way up at the top. So I'm just gonna try to roughly measure out how long I'm gonna need for the first piece and cut it a little bit short. So that'll get... Hey, thanks for hosting. Oh, Jesus Christ. My cat's gonna have a field day if I ever leave this on the floor. She has had a field day with it before. So now I have this, like, just curtain of hair. Hey, Kobe the bear. But, let's see if I can get this here. Because I want to reiterate, I have not done this before. So I have to find the area between the wefts that I'm... Jesus. The wefts that I'm going for. Would you stay? I might end up like repositioning the camera so I can sit on the floor and do this. I feel like this might be a sit on the floor kind of situation. Because I know it's very tricky to find where the wefts are sometimes. Alright, here we go. So that's the top of the wig. That's the skin cap. So I flip that up. You're just missing a lot of aggressive flipping. Alright, I'm gonna move to the floor because this is getting ridiculous. Sink to my level, wig head. So just give me a second to reposition the cameras so that y'all can see what the hell it is that I'm doing. Put this one back on my monitor. This is a better ASMR video and it's not even trying. Well, I'm glad I can be beneficial. Oh, this is just my speaking quietly voice. Oh, I should move. Sorry for anyone who's getting motion sickness from my camera skills. Hopefully, this will allow you to see what the hell it is that I'm doing. So, no, get out of there. Oh, I feel that slipstream technician. I'm trying to find like a good place to put this because without it on the stand it's a little bit too tall, but whatever. So I'm trying to tilt that down so you can get a better idea what I'm doing with my hands. Should we start a jailbreak? Yep, it's the church poster in the background. My cat just stares at it sometimes, and it is the most terrifying thing because it's like, do you see God, Taco? Is that what this is? Um, oh, Jesus Christ, what have I got myself into? So I'm gonna want to thread this in. I'll use my knee. My knee will work. Maybe I should work my way up. Hey Arnold, sleep well. I'm struggling with wigs. Also, I hope you realize I'm crying because Aqua got Norded. Maybe I'll start with the brighter colors. I mean, I'm gonna want to have these here too. I'm trying to find the best place to really sew these in, and I think it might be working from the bottom actually. Because wefts are sewn in rows. A wild murder now goes to sleep. Well, you've answered the question if murderers can sleep at night. So I'm just gonna very carefully card through these and find where the like base areas are where I can start sewing these things in. Yeah, so what have you guys been up to tonight? So this part is like the longest part of the wig actually. So I might want to put the brighter red here. But since I've already gotten that darker red color out, I'm kind of signed in to doing that. So I'm gonna just brush most of this out of the way so I can just see the main, I guess, spine of the wig. I don't like calling it that, but I guess that's what it is. Because wigs are entirely done in layers for safe freedom. The natural habitat preparing for our next outing, basically. I was working Taco, don't do it. I was working on my ruby top all day, and I was having no luck. Hey, taquitos. Don't do it. No. No. Taco wants to fight. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is gonna be so knotted up. The entire... Oh, nice, the entire category of Jeopardy. Honestly, I'm gonna be completely real with you all. I didn't know that Jeopardy was still on until it was on in our dining hall at school, and I was like, wait, this show's still, like, wow, they must be desperate if they're playing Jeopardy reruns. My friend was like, no, this is a new episode, and I'm like, what do you mean? Hi, Pat Best. Well, this is not a typical stream for me, I'm afraid. I'm trying to stream cosplay stuff, and when I say cosplay stuff, I mean I'm trying to stream working on wigs, which is something I've never done. Alright, so I'm actually just gonna build up from the bottom because I am not sure how to get what I need in the front. I see a cat. Yep, this is my cat, Tacos. Taquito. Or her name's Taco. Tacoma, but we call her Tacos. So I'm gonna start off. I need to get some needles out. Yeah, my summer class starts on Monday. Entire category of mythological beasts. Nice. So if I wanted to be nice to myself, I probably would have started off doing my Todoroki wig because that's right down the middle, so it would have been easy. But alas, I'm not nice to myself. So I'm gonna work with the stream, how it's more custom and quotable yelling. Well, my sister's asleep, so I'm gonna pass on the quotable yelling, but I can start swearing if y'all want. Damn it, my scissors are up there. Don't. Taco. Oh yeah, I saw. I mean, I don't think I'll really use it just because stuff gets muted, honestly. So, no worries. And then on Monday, I'll probably start Rise of the Tomb Raider, by the way. Hey, Bev18. Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm going to be going to see a doctor to see exactly what's been causing this problem because it's been happening a lot. See, wigs are like a whole monster that I've never messed with before. So, I'm trying to learn to mess with them. Yeah, so I'm just gonna start sewing these in low, I guess, and then I'll slowly add more over the top. I'm probably gonna need to order black wefts, honestly. I didn't think that I would, but I think I'm probably gonna. So let me just clear up this line here and I'll show you guys where it is. And this is essentially going to be almost entirely replaced just with red because the bottom of her hair is pretty much all red. There's very little black in it. So this little patch is just going to be mostly, not this one so much as the crimson color that I have mixed in with some apple red. Just because I want to make sure that it has a nice gradient to it. Taquitos, what are you doing? Are you being a bench? I want to sew these on real well so that this wig can handle lots of wear and tear. Because I want to be using it a lot. That's good, slipstream technician. I am the only person in my family, like my mom knows how to sew, but I kind of passed where she was, like her sewing stuff a couple years ago. Also, Taco is a girl. Heads up. What do you do? What drives you cosplay? Honestly, it's very similar to what drives me to do animation, and that is that I don't have superpowers. I don't live in like a cool futuristic society where we all have superpowers. Stop that. Don't eat it. That's a needle. I don't have a semblance. I don't have a quirk. I can't jump off buildings saving people. But these characters can. And I'm very open about this. I have clinical depression, and I was suicidal my freshman year of high school, and it was these fictional heroes. Will you stop that? I'm trying to have a deep talk. It was these fictional heroes that kind of gave me the strength, I suppose, to find strength in myself. And, you know, I can't jump off buildings to save people. Oh, that's where the knot is. That's why that's having that problem. But if I am able to dress up like someone who can, it feels like for a little while you kind of have that strength that they have, and it can inspire you to be a better person than you were before. If that makes any sense. So I should probably hold this up so you guys can kind of see more of what I'm doing. Wow, that didn't show it at all. I'll show it up to here. So I am taking this hooked needle and just weaving it through very slowly so that it secures itself to the wig base. Yeah, Taco is very silly. She's still a kitten. She's just over 2.5 years old. And like that's the same reason I want to be an animator. Like I've talked about this before, I think. But, you know, Monty was my greatest inspiration, I think, or he was one of my greatest, if not my greatest inspirations. Because when I first started watching Ruby, my friend had watched it because she had always watched RT content and I had never watched it. And she'd been trying to get me to watch it, and I was like, yeah, whatever, you know, I'll watch it eventually. And I'm also I'm not as open about this, but I also have night terrors. I have chronic night terrors. I've had nightmares ever since I can remember. And I had one day where it was really bad and I made the mistake of taking a nap, and I woke up having a panic attack. And I hadn't been that scared in a while. And met the person I was dating at the time couldn't help me out. My friends couldn't help me out. I couldn't convey what I was feeling. So I was like, I need something to distract myself. I need something to make it better. And I'm just sewing this like the way that you normally sew stuff, and I feel like the thread's real thick for it. And that's probably because I'm a dumbass and double threaded it. But, I started watching Ruby, season 1. I watched it basically as soon as season 1 had ended, I believe. And it got me to stop crying. It got me to laugh, which was something that was still hard for me to do at the time. Hey, Trap Master, will you stop? That's a needle. You're gonna hurt yourself. And I was 15, and I loved Ruby because I looked at her and I saw so much of myself, because I'm always the youngest in my class. I tested up, I have one of those summer birthdays where you have to take a test to figure out which grade you belong in. And I tested up, so I'm always the youngest in my class. And I constantly worked hard. I worked desperately to get the things that I wanted, to get the knowledge that I wanted. And people were like, oh, and I saw a lot of myself in Ruby, because people would be like, oh, that's the kid that did this thing. That's the kid who did this thing. And it's like, I just wanted to kind of be a normal kid. I didn't want to be someone that kids would immediately see and know that I was weird or different. I wanted to have normal knees. And that fish out of water feeling, that social awkwardness, that only knowing what you're good at, that Ruby has, especially in the first season, really drew me to her. And I remember finishing the show and asking my friend, like, hey, where's the rest of it? Where's the rest of the show? I need to keep watching it. I love this. And I remember she was like, oh, there's not more. Season 1 just wrapped up. Taco is plotting. And I was so bummed. But, I had a convention coming up. And I figured, hey, let's get to work. God, I can't get this to go through. So, after just watching one season, I made my first non-Homestuck cosplay. It was mostly my mom helping me. I didn't really know how to sew at the time, because most Homestuck cosplays that I had done were just like painted pants and jeans, or painted shirts and jeans and face paint. God damn it, come on. Go through. You son of a bitch. And looking back, it looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible. My wig was garbage. It's not this same one that I was just insulting earlier. But my wig was terrible, and I didn't know how to do makeup, so there was just a very badly drawn line of eyeliner on my eye. And I used costume satin, so it was just so shiny, and we did the photo shoot when it was 110 degrees outside at 4 in the afternoon in a terrible location. But I was so happy. And I remember when season 2 came out, it had released early, and I was so surprised. I had not expected it. I immediately rushed upstairs to my room, and even though there was no reason for it, even though no one told me to, even though it made no sense, I went into my closet and I got out my Ruby cosplay and I put on the dress and I just sat there laughing, watching as one 15-year-old and like 5, 6, 17 year olds fought in a cafeteria with overly stale bread. And I just laughed. And I remember like seeing that fight animation, thinking it was so smooth and being like, I want to do something like this. And I watched the show. Every week it came out, I watched it as soon as it came out. And I remade Ruby and did a photo shoot because I wanted it to be better. I wanted to get as close as I could to being like her. I mastered my impression of her. I cosplayed her second outfit version, even though it was a terrible cosplay. And I was so happy just doing that with my friends because I didn't really have a lot of cosplaying friends, but it was through Ruby that I made more, and I loved it. And I felt like I was doing something good. And I remember rewatching the series as I got a little bit older, because I've grown up with Ruby. Not like it was there when I was really little, but I was 15 when Ruby was 15. When season 2 started, I was 16. Hey, thanks for the bits! And I think when I turned 17, that's when I really kind of fell in love with Pyrrha, because I had kind of transitioned out of who I was as Ruby at that point. I didn't want to be normal anymore. I was done trying to be someone that I wasn't, someone ignored. I just wanted to do what I was good at, which at the time I wasn't entirely sure what it was, but I knew that there was something out there. I wanted to be special. I wanted to be confident. I wanted to be this person who could walk into a room and command attention and handle whatever was thrown their way. And despite seeing all this hardship and being constantly given unrealistic expectations, still be able to make people feel good about themselves. And that's who Pyrrha was to me. So I made that. Hey, thanks for the follow, Vegas Golden Knights. And I made that cosplay. It's my first time using thermoplastic, and I got so many mosquito bites working on it outside on the flagstone by our grill so I wouldn't burn anything. And I burned my hands so many times, but I almost ran out. But I got it to work, and I was happy with it. And snip, 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 snip. One little part of maroon done. This is gonna take a while, and I feel like I need to only do single stitching on this from now on. But and I took off the cosplay almost as soon as I got outside because the top was slipping because my friend had made it using her dress form for her measurements and not mine. And so it very much didn't fit. And the armor was sliding down and the crown was too big. But I remember taking pictures in that cosplay, and I felt the most myself that I think I had in a very long time. And I was happy. And I knew that this was a character that I wanted to cosplay again. This was a character who had stolen the show for me. I stopped watching the show so much for Ruby as I watched it for... Oh, I could have just sewn the next layer directly on top of it, you know, like a smart person. But no, okay, whatever. I can not do that, I guess. Um, so I remade the top myself. My friend didn't do it, which was a learning experience in and unto itself. And I fixed up the armor so it would stay up. And I discovered my love of armor making for cosplay. And I remember a convention, once I kind of had it figured out, I ran into some younger girls who were cosplaying, and they were saying that it was the first time they had ever cosplayed, but they thought that I was amazing, and they told me so. And I just and they said that they wanted to kind of be like the stuff that the stuff that I was doing. And it caught me off guard. I had just done my first like professional photo shoot ever. Um, and it completely blew my mind. And I need to space this out more if I want to have the other one in. I remember when they walked away, I had to like take a minute because it had never really occurred to me that I had been helping anyone but myself. I felt like I had been selfish with my cosplay, taking weekends to myself, and then to hear hey, thanks for the cheer, from people I didn't know that they liked the stuff I was doing, that inspired them to work harder. It completely blew my mind because I was someone who constantly struggled with figuring out what they wanted to do, figuring out who they were. Like, I had to work for years to prove that I could go to art school to my family. And I think I'm slowly getting the handle of sewing wigs like this. And to hear that I had positively affected someone like that was surreal. So seeing that cosplay could help, not like, I also, with cosplay, I stopped hating myself as much, I think. Because I got into Ruby while I was on ultimately a pretty decent road to recovery, I guess. It went better than most things go. There were very few relapses. But, I was struggling with getting over an eating disorder. I was struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts and self-harm. And I remember thinking I could never cosplay Yang. And then I did it. And, like, there were things that I wasn't happy with, yeah. But I remember looking at, like, my wife's cosplay. And that's something I would never have worn if not for cosplay. And just thinking that, hey, I don't look terrible. This is good. I look good. I'm allowed to not hate myself. And so when I realized that in cosplay, I started chasing that idea. And I didn't realize how much that it had kind of positively affected me until I went to college, which I'm still in now. And I lost a lot of that because I can't do. Hey, thanks for the cheer. I can't do cosplay in college. There's not room, there's not time. And the combination of that with an abusive roommate, my self-image just plummeted. And I found myself scared to cosplay because it was like, how could I be that girl in those photos? I'm not that same girl I was all those months ago because that girl was taken from me. But like, and it's hard. it's hard to come back from that. I'm still coming back from that. But it's through that, like, cosplay and thinking about those girls from that one convention that it's like, hey, not only can you get through this, but you need to get through this because there are people out there who are looking to you for strength when they're in their own hard times. And it's the least you can do to repay them. So anyway, that's a very long-winded story. Hey, thanks, Lance Mats. Anyway, that's a very long-winded story as to why I cosplay. So I have 2 rows sewn in here. So clearly Ruby has like a mullet. But progress! I need to add in the lighter colors, but I'm just going to try to slowly work the maroon up until I get a little bit higher. Just so that it's really integrated into this. And then I'm going to have to go in, probably off stream, and do all the rooting for the wig. Oh, I'm sorry, did I wake you up? Did I wake you up? Okay, cool. I'm streaming. God, where the heck did that thread go? Oh, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Oh, crap. Try to find the best way to get the needle to go for this part. Yeah, I feel like it's still considered cosplay if you make a costume of an original design. Well then, that didn't go how it was supposed to go. Crap, where's the next little lace bit? Okay, there it is. It's gonna get harder to do this as I get closer to the top, because even though there'll be less hair, there'll be kind of more stuff in the way. Just with how the nature of skin tops. Ah, shit. Yeah, I feel you, Zach. Man, we're getting real. If I don't have music, this is what happens. If I don't play music, I just get real. Unreal, real engine here. Not Unreal Engine, real engine. Another thing that I like about cosplay is, like, you can see your progress, which is something that's always very nice to see. You can't always see your progress in the stuff that you do. Okay, come on, come on. Get into place, get into place. I just want to have this stitched out nice and pretty. Yeah, like I'm one of those people who firmly believes that we need to um, normalize talking about mental health and like related issues. Because, like, I thought that I was the only person in the world who felt the way that I did. I'm glad you're still around, Lance Pants. Like, I feel like it's important for people to know that they're not alone in things. Like, I thought I was the only person in the world who felt the way that I did. And I know now that that was not the case at all, but no one talks about it. It's like it's considered like shameful and taboo, and it's like it's not your fault that your brain does the things that it does. It's not your fault that your biology makes you predisposed for this kind of stuff. What matters is how you handle it. And if we normalize talking about it, then people will know that, hey, there's nothing wrong with you. That's just part of being how you are. Like, I try to normalize talking about my experience with mental illness and eating disorders. And like there's stuff that I don't talk about because it is still too personal and it's too raw for me to talk about. And I think that's okay that like there's certain things that you can't talk about in time. Like I'm someone who I used to bottle things up. I still bottle things up. I'm outside of like reactions in Twitter. Um I used to like not emote at all. It was too hard. It hurt too much to talk about. And there's still stuff that like I won't talk about because I can't convey it properly. And I find myself wondering how much of it is in my head and how much of it is real. But it's important to find people that you can talk to. And like that's part of the reason why I like Pure so much is because like I projected a lot onto her. Because the way that she's shown in the show, like she doesn't have friends. She left Haven because she was just a reputation. And even at Beacon, that was the same thing. Like the way that she's shown was very similar to how my depression and anxiety works. It's very much, I have to be the best because otherwise I'm not going to be good enough. And the way that she talks to John, I felt that monologue that she has. I've been blessed with incredible talents and opportunities. I'm constantly surrounded by love and praise, but when you're placed on a pedestal like that for so long, you become separated from the people who put you there in the first place. I remember hearing those words in Volume 2 and having to take a minute because that's what I felt. Like, if you do enough stuff right, if you get good enough grades, if you seem to have a good enough handle on your life, um, people assume that they don't have to worry. That, it's this squeaky wheel gets the oil. That if you have your life put together, no one needs to worry about you. And I know that's kind of how it is in my family. And it's that, you do all these good things and you get this praise, but eventually people just assume that you can't do anything but that. That you that that you don't have to struggle as much if you've done all this amazing work, that none of that, you don't have the same struggle, when really you do. It's just a matter of how you handle it. And I can't get this needle to go through the right thing. Come on. This is ridiculous. I hate curved needles for this reason. They're handy. I get it. They're handy for leather and they're handy for wigs, but they're currently making my life an actual hellhole. There we go. Nightbot being strict tonight. Apparently so. Sorry guys, this got real heavy. Alright, gonna work my way up the next row. Oh, I know that feeling, Zach. Believe me. Think I'm just about done with this thread so I can see how it looks. And then I might actually call it. I know that this has been a really short stream, and that was not my intention. But I'm going for a run early tomorrow morning. And I want to be able to get enough sleep. And I'm actually going to check out a tattoo shop to make the appointment for me to get mine. Yeah, it's only been like an hour-long stream, so I'm sorry, guys. I even started late, too, just for an extra kick to the balls. But what I want you guys to take away from this is that no matter what you're going through, no matter what you feel, that no matter what people tell you, no matter what you're going through, that you matter. And even if you don't feel like you do, even if you feel like you're a terrible person, that you matter. That even if you hate yourself, if you hate the things you do, hate the things that you create, know that there's someone out there who loves what you do, who loves what you create, who loves you for you, and will accept you for who you are and the things that you do. And that even if you don't see your own worth, even if you think that you yourself are worthless, that doesn't mean that you are. That doesn't mean that no one else can see why you're amazing. And that even if you're just thinking, oh, it's just one life, it's just me, it's not going to make that difference. It does make that difference. Like, you can be walking down the street, and even if you don't mean to, like, just anyone on the street, you could walk by them, and you can remind them of someone. You can remind them of someone they lost. The color you're wearing could remind them of a happy memory. It can give them something to help them get through the day. that even if you think that you don't matter, you matter to someone. That even if you don't know them, you matter to them. Because you've impacted so many lives, even beyond those of people you see regularly. You've impacted people that you've never met, people you never know the names of, people that you maybe never even seen the front or the back of. You've influenced them, you've influenced people. Your existence has caused a chain reaction in reality that can't be undone. That you've changed the way history unfolds just by being in one place, because you being there prevented someone else from being there and prevented who knows what from happening. You've made changes to the universe that, whether for good or not, have happened, that have affected people, that have made people's lives better. Like, not taking a seat on a bench kept someone else from sitting there and let them sit down next to someone who could have been their soulmate. You never know. You can never know how greatly you affect everything. Because ultimately, we're all composed of the remnants of a universe. We're all bits of stardust that somehow put together bits and pieces of a consciousness and are trying to float across and figure out where we belong. And you have every right to live here. You have every right to exist, to breathe, to feel every emotion, no matter how great or how painful. So I want you guys to remember that. Especially, not only when times are hard, especially when times are hard, but not only then. Remember it on your good days and your bad days and your lazy days and your busy days. Just remember that no matter what you do, you're making a difference and that you're irreplaceable. It's an astronomical miracle that your atoms came together to form you the way that you are. And yeah, there's parts of ourselves that we won't like, that sometimes we'll never like. But you're made of stardust. To deny yourself is to deny thousands of years of energy going through the universe. Alright, so, different note. Oh god, this wig is already so messed up. So I've sewn in some pieces on the back there. So if you guys can see now, there's just random red here. But it's sewn in. If I tug on it, it doesn't come out. So... me too, Piv 18. But let me just brush that out. So on the bright side, I think I more or less learned how to weft wigs. We'll have to see how this goes. I'll probably do a lot of this off stream just because otherwise it'll take a really long time. But so just the maroon, it already adds like a pretty big difference. And I'm going to have to do so much trimming on this wig before it's actually done. But so now there's this red, awkward like rat tail on this wig. But basically, I'll have some more red threaded throughout here, and I actually am going to need to decrease it because it shows up way more than I thought it was going to be. And I need to find a way to put it more on these upper pieces here for when it goes towards her face. But I think I might actually just stick with not just the maroon. I'm definitely going to add a lot of the crimson in. I might not do the apple red, or if I do, I'm going to just do a little bit. So I think I'm probably going to cut it there just because it is shedding everywhere. And I need to straighten this out because, yikes, it's getting real bad. This is why, like, that wig is so pretty when we start, But the problem is that like those curls don't hold. They never hold. They always fall out and get kind of knotted and gnarly like this. Be brushed, foul mistress. So when this wig is actually on the wig head, you guys can see exactly how awkward this length is. Like, look at this. It's just like, what the hell? But I'll be thinning out these lower layers and blending them out more. So it becomes more of just this red, which I can actually trim the lower part off of now. Be gone, thought. But so when this is straightened out, because like if I was to pull up this back part, oh, you guys can't really see it. My sewing is definitely kind of sloppy because I haven't hand sewn in a while. But I think after I finish threading in the rest of the red up underneath it, it'll be like the underside of the roots that are red. And when this is straightened, I think it'll blend pretty nicely. So I might do actually a little bit more. I don't know. It's pretty late. I should probably stop. Thanks. I'm actually really enjoying. I like the Haven pants. My Beacon pants are already kind of worn out. The letters are cracking, so I figured I'd break in my Haven pants a little bit more. And I want to do a. I'm gonna do a cosplay of Pyrrha if she had gone to Haven, and then I'm also gonna make the Atlas uniform and do Weiss in the Atlas uniform and Ilia, because I think that'd be really interesting. Oh, see, so actually, I don't know if you guys can see here, but some of the red is peeking out already on the side, which is good because I'm going to need to have a lot there because Ruby has hers go all the way down the side of her face. So I think actually for the most part, that'll match up to here, and then once it gets up to this part, that's where I'm going to start having some problems with it. I can do that with wefts though, I believe. So, thank you guys so much for going. I'm sorry that this is a shorter stream and it's late and I'm a little out of it, but that's what happens if you are sick. So thank you guys so much for showing up. I hope you guys have a good night, and just remember what I was talking about.